This courtroom moment starts off calm, but within minutes, it completely explodes. Jacob Bunt appears on Zoom for a probation violation hearing, and at first, it seems like a routine court date. He's accused of failing to report to his probation officer and testing positive for alcohol. Not new criminal charges. Not a major arrest. Just a probation slip-up. But as we all know, when you're on probation, even a small mistake can turn into a huge problem. His attorney steps in and makes a strong argument. He tells the judge that Jacob is employed, enrolled in college, paying his fines, and actively trying to get his life together. He emphasizes that there are no new crimes involved, just a violation. The defense pushes for bond, asking the court to give him another chance instead of locking him up. For a moment, it feels like there's hope. Then the judge delivers the decision. Jacob is ordered to turn himself into the Grand Traverse County Jail by 7 p.m. that very night. You can literally see the moment it hits him. His face changes. The panic sets in. He starts talking over the judge, emotionally reacting, worried about losing his job, falling behind in college, and damaging his future. What began as a composed hearing quickly turns into a courtroom meltdown. The judge, trying to maintain control, eventually mutes him on Zoom as the frustration spills out. But here's the twist, his attorney later clarifies that Jacob isn't being sentenced to a year in jail. He's simply being held pending a hearing, which will happen soon. Still, in that moment, all Jacob hears is, "Jail tonight." And that's the harsh reality of probation. One violation, even without a new crime, can land you behind bars immediately. This viral courtroom clip is a powerful reminder that when you're on probation, the court expects strict compliance, no excuses.
Error, but I don't know. I didn't receive notice of.
And I know he struggled to receive notice from the courts about anything in my case, so they weren't being very cooperative for the longest time, even to him.
Good morning, Mr. Graff. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes.
So I was just telling Mr. Bunt that I wasn't expecting to see a Grand Traverse case. We could move forward with the let's see here. Would you like to proceed, Mr. Graff, with the probation violation arraignment this morning?
That would be fine if the court would allow it. I think it sounds like there was some confusion. Mr. Bunt received a notice for 11 o'clock today. And so we're ready to be arraigned and set this for a hearing at a later date if the court would be obliged.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. And Mr. Graff, so let me go ahead and call the case. It's case 21-5281 FY1. And we have Jacob Bunt present via Zoom with his attorney, Mr. Graff. We're here for a probation violation arraignment. And Mr. Graff, how would your client like to proceed with this?
Good morning, Your Honor. He'd enter a not guilty plea, ask the court to set this for a hearing at a later date, and then we'd also like to, address bond.
Okay, very good. All right. So I will ask the probation department to schedule the hearing with Judge Cooney. It looks like there is an active bench warrant currently. And Mr. Graff, what would you like to say about bond?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, obviously, late, after hours yesterday, we finally received the probation violation information on this case. And so we've had very little time to obviously prepare, not knowing specifically what all the allegations were. If the court would look at the notice, it talks about a positive PBT on April 22nd, which I don't think is applicable to Mr. Bunt. And so obviously going into today, until we received that information last night, we were going in somewhat blind. We do have that information. We do have information we'd like to present on his behalf. I guess the one thing is he retained my services. I reached out to try to take care of the warrant. Somehow this got set for hearing as opposed to having him turn himself in. So he has taken a proactive approach and trying to get things under control and get things resolved here. I know that the recommendations asked for him to be remanded pending the hearing. But given that the fact that one, he's taken the initiative to get this ball rolling. Two, as far as I know, there are no new criminal charges. Three, he's appearing today knowing what these recommendations are and that the court could place him in jail pending a hearing. But also more importantly, there's a lot of information that we have to present at the time of his hearing regarding what he's accomplished over the last couple of years. I think there may be more information Mr. Bunt would want to get to me now that we know specifically what the allegations are so that we can present a full defense when that time comes. As far as I know, as the court will see from the notice, he resides in Lapeer. He's got a job at, he just enrolled in college. And there are a number of other things that obviously we'd be presenting on his behalf about the services that he has participated and completed. Lastly, I was informed this morning that Mr. Bunt has paid off all his fines and costs. And so this has not been, I guess, a complete failure as may be alleged on the information that's been presented to the court. I understand today is not the day for the hearing, but I certainly want the court to have a little bit better idea of how Mr. Bunt presents as in regards to obviously the information they may have had coming into this. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider allowing him to remain out on bond. Obviously, he'll know that he'll have to travel to Traverse City for that hearing and appear in person for it. And it could result in more troubles for him if he doesn't. But I think the fact that he's taken the initiative to get this moving is a step in the right direction and speaks to obviously how much he wants to resolve this and will do so.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Graff. All right. So let me just verify your mailing address, Mr. Bunt.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And we will have the probation department schedule this for an in-person hearing that will take place at the courthouse in Grand Traverse County. This is an unusual case. This is a pretty serious, the underlying charges with this, and I'm not unsympathetic for what Mr. Graff is saying. It sounds like you've proven yourself, but I don't have any verification of any of that having taken place. I don't think it would have been outside the realm of your recovery to contact probation. You did.
I know.
Hold on just a minute. Mr. Bunt, it's not your turn to talk. Hold on, please. You've been just kind of hanging out there. No one has had any idea of what you're doing, what you have been doing, the things you've accomplished. And I guess I'm not understanding why you didn't simply reach out. We have tools and resources here. You had every opportunity for, it looks like, a couple of years to just try to reach out and catch up before it came to this crossroads here. So with that being said, let's see. At some point, did you say you were going to turn yourself in?
Yes, I was going to be turning myself in after my graduation. One of the things on probation was to get my GED, and I did accomplish that. Jake Graff has a photocopy of my diploma. I will be walking and getting a cap and gown. I'm already enrolled in the MOT. I went through some mental health issues and am still actively getting help from CMH. I have a signed waiver of release information for the courts. I've been working. I know there is no proof of me showing my recovery, and I know it probably doesn't look good on you guys, but I did improve myself, and I take full responsibility for my wrongdoings in the past. And I don't want to just have my freedom like you get when you get out of jail. I don't just want freedom. I want to be successful. I want to do the things everyone tells you should do and you can do. And I want to I'm going into college to get associates in business. I want to be an entrepreneur and follow in my father's footsteps.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bunt. And I do appreciate that. To look at this as a setback in your recovery. I want you to look at this as moving forward and getting closure with this. Okay. And that's just going to help you and build a strong foundation for continuing to move forward down there in Lapeer. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to make arrangements to come turn yourself into the Grand Traverse County Jail. The probation department will set this for a hearing. I would ask them to set it for the fastest, soonest possible date so that we can get this thing expedited.
Officer wants me to sit a year. I'm not going to go to college. I get out of jail when I'm 26. It takes me 4 years to get a degree. By the time I have money, I'm going to be old as
Mr.
fuck.
Bunt, please stop. I want you to continue moving forward. I can't look at the facts of the past and just allow this to continue on this way. So I am going to ask that you turn yourself in by 7 p.m. tonight.
I don't even have a license. I can't get up there that fast. I have a job. I got bills. I got to drop out of college. No, I won't be able to get my walk. I will everything I worked hard
Mr.
for. I
Bunt,
won't be able to do.
I'm going to have to mute you. I've muted you. I want you to know that this is a first step in getting closure for this case. And you had every opportunity to make a step forward. And I appreciate that you did contact the court, but you haven't followed through. So, Mr. Graff, would you want a brief breakout room with your client?
Sure, that'd be fine. I don't want to hold up the court's time. I can call them after court as well.
Okay. I'm not sure if it would be easier for you to try to talk to him right now, or if you'd just rather end this for now and give him a call.
I'll give him a call here, and I don't want to use up the court's time. Mr. Bond, just so you know, you didn't get a year in jail today. You're being remanded pending your hearing, which will come up pretty soon. I understand you're disappointed.
This courtroom hearing starts off like so many others, quiet, procedural, almost routine. A defendant logs into Zoom. His attorney is beside him on screen. The judge begins reviewing the file. On the surface, it looks like just another probation violation arraignment. But within minutes, everything changes. Jacob Bunt is in court because he violated his probation. The allegations aren't about a brand new criminal case. There's no dramatic police chase, no new arrest for a violent offense. Instead, the violation is something that often sounds small to people on the outside, failing to report and testing positive for alcohol. But anyone who understands probation knows that once you are under court supervision, the rules are strict. Very strict. And breaking them, even in what seems like a minor way, can trigger serious consequences. The judge begins by confirming the violation. The tone is firm but calm. Jacob appears nervous, but composed. He's listening. His attorney, Mr. Graff, prepares to argue for his release. The defense steps in with a strong presentation. Mr. Graff explains that Jacob is working. He has a job. He is enrolled in college. He's paying his fines. He's trying to move forward with his life. The attorney emphasizes that there are no new criminal charges. No new victims. No new arrests. This isn't someone who went out and committed another crime. This is someone who slipped up while on probation. The defense frames it as a setback, not a collapse. He argues that Jacob has taken proactive steps to address the issue. He highlights stability, employment, education, responsibility. The message is clear: don't derail this progress. Give him bond. Let him continue working. Let him continue school. Let him show up to the next hearing voluntarily. For a moment, it feels like the argument is landing. But judges don't just look at present circumstances. They look at compliance. They look at patterns. They look at accountability. The court reviews the probation record. The allegation is straightforward: failure to report and a positive alcohol test. When you are on probation, you agree to conditions. Reporting isn't optional. Abstaining from alcohol isn't a suggestion. It's a court order. The judge begins explaining the court's responsibility. Probation is an opportunity. It's not a right. It's a second chance that comes with rules. And when those rules are violated, the court has to respond. Then comes the moment that shifts everything. The judge orders Jacob Bunt to turn himself into the Grand Traverse County Jail by 7 p.m. that evening. There's a pause. You can actually see the realization wash over him. His expression changes instantly. The calm demeanor cracks. The weight of what was just said hits hard. Jail. Tonight. Not next week. Not after another review. That evening, Jacob begins to react emotionally. He speaks up quickly, clearly overwhelmed. He's worried about his job. If he goes to jail, even temporarily, does he lose it? He's worried about college. Will he fall behind? Will he get dropped from classes? He's worried about his future unraveling because of this moment. His voice carries frustration, fear, disbelief. From his perspective, he's been working, studying, trying to rebuild. And now, in a matter of seconds, it feels like everything is about to collapse. But from the court's perspective, the issue is compliance. If probation conditions are violated without immediate consequence, what message does that send? Courts often remand defendants in probation violation cases to ensure appearance at the next hearing and to reinforce the seriousness of the conditions. As Jacob continues speaking, the judge tries to maintain control of the hearing. Courtrooms, even virtual ones, operate on order. There's a structure. When emotions boil over, judges sometimes have to step in firmly. Eventually, the judge mutes him. That moment feels dramatic. A defendant, visibly distressed, silenced on Zoom as reality sinks in. But the hearing isn't over. His attorney steps back in. Mr. Graff speaks directly to Jacob, clarifying the situation. He explains that this is not a one-year sentence. This is not the final punishment. Jacob is being remanded pending a violation hearing. There will be another court date soon where the full matter will be addressed. In other words, tonight's jail isn't the final outcome. It's temporary detention until the next hearing. But in emotionally charged moments, that distinction can feel meaningless. When someone hears, "Turn yourself into jail tonight," the brain doesn't immediately process procedural nuance. It hears loss. It hears confinement. It hears disruption. The attorney tries to calm him down, emphasizing that this is part of the process. There will be an opportunity to argue the case fully. There will be a chance to present mitigating factors. The goal now is compliance and preparation for the next step. This hearing highlights something many people misunderstand about probation. Probation is often described as a break, a way to avoid jail. And it is. But it's also conditional freedom. Courts expect strict adherence. Missing a report meeting might seem minor to some. Having alcohol might seem like a personal mistake. But when those actions violate a court order, they become legal issues. Judges frequently face a difficult balance. On one hand, they see defendants who are working, studying, trying to stabilize their lives. On the other hand, they see non-compliance. If the court ignores violations, the authority of probation erodes. For Jacob, the emotional response is human. Fear of losing a job is real. Fear of falling behind in school is real. Anxiety about being incarcerated, even briefly, is real. His reaction reflects someone who feels blindsided by immediate consequences. But the court's response reflects a system built on structure and enforcement. The tension between those two realities is what makes this moment so intense. As the hearing concludes, the instructions are clear. He must report to the jail by 7 p.m. Failure to do so would only compound the situation. The next hearing will determine what happens long term, whether probation continues, is modified, or whether a more serious sentence is imposed. This case becomes a powerful reminder of how fragile probation can be. It's not just about avoiding new crimes. It's about following every condition, every time. Reporting, testing, compliance, accountability. One misstep can shift everything. The emotional meltdown isn't just about jail. It's about uncertainty. It's about the sudden loss of control. It's about realizing that even progress, a job, classes, paying fines, doesn't erase a violation. In the end, the courtroom doesn't run on emotion. It runs on procedure. And in this hearing, procedure took priority over personal circumstance. What started as a routine Zoom appearance turned into a life-altering evening. A reminder that when you are on probation, every condition matters. Every test matters. Every report matters. And when those conditions aren't met, the consequences can come faster than anyone expects.